Another case business.
I spoke with Nilk and Rensis, the man found guilty of the murder on Eos.
Yes, our first murder here in Andromeda. I wish it had been our last. When the colony attempts failed, it didn't help spirits that a high-ranking officer was killed by one of our own. The mutiny here on Nexus was probably inevitable, but this acted as a spark.
It doesn't seem right to put all that on him.
Of course it isn't, but that's the perception. Despite the lack of physical evidence, everything added up. His only defense was, trust me, I didn't mean to do it.
And you assume he's lying?
What's a lie to a murderer? Look, knock yourself out. A key witness, Cassidy Shaw, works in operations. Go ahead and talk to her.
Hello.
And there's a recording of the perpetrator threatening the victim. I'll let you cue it up on the console there.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, this case is closed.
Bye,
Oh, I just got opened again.
You and me both, Pathfinder. Nexus versus colonist Nilkin, evidence 7A.
Hiram! Hiram! They've seized the compound! Call for evacuation!
We're not giving up, Nilkin. We're taking it back.
No! I'm not letting your ego get us killed! Even if I have to... No! Get him off me! Get him off me!
Yeah. Excuse me. Up the stairs. Up the top. Go past you. Hey, you.
Cassidy Shaw, I'm Scott Ryder. I'm looking into the Nilkin murder case.
Oh man, I thought that was over with.
No.
Have you heard the audio recording of their fight?
Yes.
Yeah.
I helped pull him off Chief Reynolds. You could see it in his eyes. He was gonna kill him. Then in the sandstorm, I had a pretty clear view of the Chief. He looked right at Nilkin and shouted, "No." Then his chest burst open. I'll never forget it. The look on his face was pure shock.
Did you see any cat in the vicinity?
Nilkin said so, but not that I could see. Still, the sandstorm was severe. Visibility wasn't great.
You can't see the button there.
Did Nilkin seem remorseful?
I lost sight of Nilkin in the turmoil. When we found him, he seemed in shock. He couldn't speak. He looked nauseated. Could have been guilt. The reality of the act sinking in.
If they'd fought and Nilkin threatened to kill him, why was Reynolds surprised?
Fronts fight, say things they don't mean, maybe even hurt each other. But you don't expect your best friend to shoot you. To me, that's the saddest part. The Chief's heart was broken right before it exploded.
Reynolds was leading you back to retake the compound. Did you agree with that?
It wasn't my place to agree or disagree. He was ranking officer.
Yeah,
In
but
retrospect, it is ironic. If he hadn't been killed, we all probably would have died.
right?
I appreciate the information.
Of course. It kills me we had to leave him behind. He deserved a proper funeral.
So the body was never examined?
Come
In
on.
case of a murder investigation.
Right?
Sam wouldn't allow a mission to go back for him. Said it was too dangerous.
Guess where I'm going? Tan Man.
Ryder, you may have a less than flattering view of me, but I want to express my condolences for your father.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I didn't know him very well, although I understand he played a key role in planning the initiative. I'm sure he's
So I'm told.
concerned that we still have several arcs missing.
I'll
They're
find
as
them.
much a part of the initiative as the human arc. We'll find them.
We have to. Tens of thousands of colonists are unaccounted for. It paints the initiative in an unflattering light. Did you have some other business?
I'm looking into the Nilken Rensis murder charge.
And?
I want to go to Eos and retrieve Chief Reynolds' body.
That isn't usually Pathfinder business.
Well,
First
Asna.
murder in Andromeda, and I'm impartial. Figured you'd want to get it right.
Settling an outpost comes first. But I suppose I have no objections. Physical evidence will only bolster the case.
I'm hoping it proves something else happened.
This case has been a political nightmare. With all we've been through, the people need stability. I hope anything you find reaffirms what's been done, but if it sheds a
Det
different
man
light,
need the truth.
we'll deal with it. We'll
That's
send
what
the coordinates
people
to the
need
murder scene.
the truth.
Good luck.
What do I need to consider in making a planet viable?
Assuming the planet supports life, an outpost is critical. People like a roof over their heads, and you'll want to eliminate any hostile threats. Whether that's the cat or other terrors lurking in Helios, colonists being murdered on sight can be discouraging. Also, scouting and mapping terrain is a priority for any Pathfinder. And don't forget forward stations. You'll want those.
What can you tell me about forward stations?
I was afraid you'd ask. It's mostly what the engineers tell me. A forward station allows mining, equipment repairs, and resupply for field teams. I mean, who wouldn't want that? But seeing as how every colonization effort has failed, it's just theory at the moment. You get to test it out, Ryder.
As director of the initiative, are you in charge around here or what?
If the others would allow me, they don't see me as the rightful successor.
So how does anything get done?
In theory, Kesh handles the Nexus's physical operations, Kandros runs the militia, and Addison manages colonial affairs. I oversee all of it. In practice, we argue, debate, and yell at each other until a decision is made. If we're lucky. It is maddening.
What's their problem with you?
I am not Gian Garson. Our founder was charismatic, eccentric, larger than life. Traits I cannot hope to mimic. She and her inner circle perished in the Scourge, some at the hands of the Exiles, some never made it out of stasis. I was deputy assistant for revenue management. Then all 7 leaders above me died. I was next in line for the role.
So, you're an accountant?
Don't let that fool you. We are all capable of more than we know. When I was young, I was fascinated by the idea of exploring space. Life had its detours and I went a different direction. Then I heard about the initiative and saw my chance to try the path not taken. While I may not be setting foot on new worlds, my authority can ensure that you do.
Right. Sorry.
Right.
It sounds like the Nexus has had a rough time of it.
Publicly, I would say we're more than up for the challenge. Privately, I can tell you, it's been a disaster. The Scourge killed hundreds, many of them our senior leadership. Even
Damn.
the founder of the initiative, Gian Garson, is dead.
How did Jean Garson die?
With the rest of the leadership, when the Nexus hit the Scourge, a large wing of stasis pods was destroyed. They were killed instantly. These people traveled
Damn.
600 years and died before they even woke up. Gian Garson never glimpsed Helios. She never saw her vision realized.
Cantor's mentioned something about hitting the Scourge. How did it play out?
Criminal elements took advantage of the emergency and preyed on people's fears. An uprising followed. Criminals were banished. Exiles, we call them. I doubt we've heard the last of them. They're led by an outlaw, Sloane Kelly. She used to be one of ours.
Sloane Kelly.
Who is this Sloane Kelly?
She was head of security on the Nexus. She opposed the uprising at first, but eventually turned traitor and joined them.
Okay.
Misguided sympathy for the plight of the common citizen. Nonsense. They posed a direct threat to our existence.
Okay.
There don't seem to be many Krogan around.
Good riddance. The Krogan demanded a greater say in political matters. The last place you want them involved.
There's some good
Their
Krogan.
muscle, nothing more. Good for fighting and lifting heavy objects. When they didn't get what they wanted, they left.
There don't seem to be many Krogan around.
Good riddance. The Krogan demanded good for fighting and lifting heavy objects. When they didn't get what they wanted, it's common knowledge that they are a violent, ignorant species.
Hey,
Long
they're
ago,
not
they
like that,
waged
man.
nuclear war on one another. Their planet was decimated. My people
Pal.
tried to uplift them.
You should have been there for 1, 2, and
Could
3.
never tame their worst instincts.
Net
What
Rex.
if they bring their tempers to Andromeda? We'll all be dead.
Oh, be quiet.
What more can you tell me about the initiative?
It represents the greatest migration ever attempted. No one had ventured beyond the Milky Way before. We've all left home in search of freedom, fortune, perhaps a new beginning. We are the bravest souls each species has to offer. I hope the Nexus will serve as the seat of government for us all.
It looks like a melting pot around here.
The Nexus is home to several initiative species. Many came ahead of the Arks. The hope is that this station will one day serve as the governing body in Andromeda. Though I'm not sure what they were thinking, lumping Krogan into the mix. As a Solarian,
Racist
I
much?
have a low opinion of them. Nothing I've seen here has changed that.
The new Ashley.
Why do you think most people came?
There are thousands of reasons, one for every colonist here. What does any pilgrim seek? Usually, happiness, finding the thing that eludes them, the thing to fulfill them. While we cannot promise they will find it, we can facilitate the search.
What do you know about the early days of the initiative?
As most everyone knows, Jean Garson's vision made it happen. She was an entrepreneur on Earth, wealthy, young for a human. Garson had the idea for the initiative in the early 2170s, I believe. Many thought leaving the Milky Way was impossible. But she persevered, and as with most great ideas, the doubters were wrong.
Of course they were.
Any more information you can give me on the missing Arks?
No, and that is the distressing part.
Yeah.
Sorry, Turian and Solarian Arcs
That's
are
sorry.
completely unaccounted for. If they had the same problems with the Scourge that we did, I fear the worst. Should you find any clues, please investigate. Without the other Arcs, the promise of the initiative can never be fulfilled.
It'll be fulfilled. Don't worry.
Are there any other Arks we should expect?
We had hoped Quarians would be part of the first wave.
Quarians!
But before departure in 2185, we got word they had technical problems with their ship. It
Oh.
seems they're also bringing along Drell, Hanar, and other species
Hanar!
as well. Managing all of their biological needs caused complications. We won't see them for some time to come.
Oh.
That's all. Thanks for your time.
Of course, as you pointed out, we need each other. Our futures depend on each other's success.
Well, I think that'll do it for this time. Thanks for anybody that watched. That'll be an end to that.